Mr. Secretary, good to be with you this morning, sir. I'd like to use my time to talk about taxes and trade. As head of Treasury, you advise the president on taxes and trade, sir?
On both, sir.
Among many other things,
Yes.
of course, yes. And Mr. Secretary, in your estimation, how did President Trump's 2017 signature tax bill affect American job creation, employment, and wage growth?
Mr. Vice Chair, it provided a substantial non-inflationary impetus to the economy, which resulted in real wage gains on a non-inflationary basis for the American people and a robust economy.
I would add, I'm with you 100%. I'd add some data into there. 4.9 million jobs between the passage of the tax bill and the COVID pandemic. Employment rates dropped from the 4s to the 3s, and we had a lot of wage growth, especially within the middle class. And that sets me up for my next question. Congress now is considering extending those tax cuts, which expire at the end of this calendar year. Would that be a good idea, Mr. Secretary?
Congressman, what Congress is considering is making them permanent, which is a better idea.
We're considering a lot on that tax bill. We're also considering SALT, which I think is an awesome idea as well. But nevertheless, on the greater bill, public polling suggests that you're right, and that 8 of 10 Americans agree that extending those tax cuts are a good idea, recognizing that they help grow wages, they help lower employment, and help personal wealth. But I want to use the remainder of my time to talk about trade policy, Mr. Secretary. Is it true that America's trade deficit is about $1.2 trillion?
Approximately, yes, sir.
And with China, Mr. Secretary, about $300 billion?
Yes, and I believe it may have increased slightly.
Yeah. And Mr. Secretary, what impact does China's exploitation of child labor and near slave-like labor, what impact does that have on the trade deficit?
Well, sir, that it creates an unlevel, aside from the values problem that Americans do not believe in this behavior, that it creates an unfair trading advantage. And we can see that from the size of the deficit, but more importantly, from the size of the large surpluses they're accumulating.
And Mr. Secretary, what impact does China's notorious theft of America's intellectual property have on our $300 billion trade deficit?
Well, I think that is a problem for not just the U.S., but for every other country. And to the extent that they are able to leapfrog, whether it's with technology, whether it's with products, then that creates a huge advantage that has given them, it's back to one of the cornerstones of the problem of trade, that if you don't have to spend money on R&D, then you can spend it on manufacturing, cheap manufacturing.
And Mr. Secretary, are tariffs a tool to reduce America's trade deficit, specifically with China?
Yes, sir.
And are they also a tool to protect American jobs, Mr. Secretary?
100%.
And Mr. Secretary, you could probably tell by how far I sit in the dais, I'm somewhat new to Congress, but yet hypocrisy still offends me. And there's a lot of double talk and hypocrisy in this town. And I'm going to read you a couple of quotes, Mr. Secretary. I'd like you to tell me if you think President Trump or somebody from the administration has said it, or if you think Senator Schumer has said it on tariffs. Quote, "Tariffs are a necessary step towards addressing the unfair imbalance of China's trade relationship with the United States." Did Schumer say it, or did Trump say it?
I would imagine the president.
Schumer said it, sir. Schumer was just a year ago, in February 2024, talking about tariffs being the answer to combat some of those issues in China, specifically ripping off our intellectual property and exploiting slave labor and child labor.
Well, Congressman, I would also note that many government officials, including presidents, were also in favor of a border wall until President Trump was.
Good point. That leads me to my second question. Who said it, Schumer or Trump, that tariffs are vital to protect American workers, American manufacturers, American innovation, and our national security? Who said it, Trump or Schumer?
I would imagine it was the ranking member.
It was the Senate Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer, said it. And like what you said, it was cool until Trump got in office, and now he's opposed to it. My time is about to expire, Mr. Secretary, but I want to commend you for fighting for American middle-class workers. I do think that extending the tax bill with a couple of tweaks like SALT is important. I do think that fighting for our middle-class workers are important. And I implore you to stay on the right path, sir.